What is going on? I usually start this off by, going through the reel of what are we here to talk about and whatnot, and who am I with? But I had to remix it a little bit here because I am in the presence of greatness. I am with the legendary Albert Hughes, the director of the new series, The Continental, from the world of John Wick, which we're going to talk about today. But folks, just in case you have never heard this name, which I don't know how you couldn't have, he is responsible for projects such as Menace to Society and Dead Presidents, two of the greatest films of all time. Albert, how you doing today, brother?
Good. It's Friday, isn't it?
It is. That is a win. And the Continental from the world of John Wick is going to be dropping on Peacock September 22nd. It's a 3-night event. So each and every week you got to tune in for what I'm considering mini movies. But I want to start off with something that, and I did get to check out all 3 episodes, and whether this was intentional or not, something that really, like, this is an amazing series, but I think
Oh,
beyond
thanks.
particular aspects and being in the world of John Wick, something I thought that was either intentionally responsible or it just happened because of the spirit is feeling Lance Riddick all over this. I have to
Oh,
say,
wow.
feeling I understand that folks know we're getting the backstory of Winston, but in case you didn't know, we're also getting a lot of the backstory of his relationship with Sharon, which this character, seeing this arc, knowing where the character ultimately goes, knowing it's played by the legendary, the late great Lance Riddick. And although he passed at a very unfortunate time and very,
Mhm.
very, he had a lot more life to live, but he gave us so much in the time he's been here.
Mhm.
And I know the film was before he passed. Have you had a chance to kind of sit back and sort of assess, or was it ever the plan to make sure that these characters did feel like the characters that they ultimately become in the movies?
Yeah, I think it's the plan to always honor what they did in those films. Ian McShane and Lance Reddick are incredible characters and very mysterious characters because you don't get a lot of screen time in those movies. But when you do, they're impactful, and you have to reverse engineer everything to their younger years. And
Yeah.
it's like you and me looking at ourselves on camera, doing an interview at 20 years old or 15. I couldn't even put a sentence together, man. Like I was a mumbler, I was shy, I was introverted. I had to learn how to talk to you. I had to learn how to do this. So
Yeah.
you see Lance Reddick and Ian McShane, they're very polished, wise men that are classy, and then you have these younger guys that are learning to get there. So that was kind of fun to explore, and in a way it's liberating because they're not doing an imitation, they're doing the impressions you have and feelings you have of the swag of Lance Reddick or the swag of Ian McShane.
Yeah, a 1,000% agree. Being just not to take away from your machine, but like being such a big fan of Lance and his very untimely death. Um, I
Mm-hmm.
just knew the emotions were going to go into this, knowing that we were going to see the younger years of this character, and he really made this character his own. I could only imagine him looking at the series being extremely excited. As much as he loved this character, as much as he loved this franchise, I think he will be flat out proud, and I think the fans will be too. Y'all did an amazing job in putting these characters together, and then this making this universe even bigger than what it already was.
Oh,
And
thank you, man. I think the actor Io was devastated by it because he was looking so forward, looking to Lance, watching it and talking to him. And the interesting thing is that this kid was in drama school in Wales. He's English, Nigerian parents. His parents are from Nigeria, so he hears that accent at home, and he knows Nigerian culture. And so he was so proud to play the role, and looking forward to the day of meeting. And he called him. He said to me, "Lance is his hero." So
beautiful, 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 beautiful. Another thing that this franchise really prides itself on, and the fans will scream this to the top of this genre, is that it represents in terms of its action, sort of this practical and realism, and that goes from the action to the stunts. Knowing that that's really the big catalyst of the John Wick universe, what did you do to sort of prepare into directing these episodes, the 2 episodes of the 3, and then ultimately wanting to bring your style to take it to the next level?
Well, bringing my style is not that difficult for me because I've been doing it so long, and it's like second nature because I've been doing it since I was 12. The more difficult thing is you're inside of a world that's already been established, but taking it to the 70s makes it easier. And then you have the help of the stunt team they work on all the John Wick films. It's from the same company, 8711.
Yeah.
Chad Stahelski, the director of those films, owns that company with his partner David Leitch, and they are so efficient at what they do. It's military like, and you creatively work with them and tell them what your needs are. Like, oh, I want this shorter. I want more like a Jackie Chan movie and more playful. And then they show you videos and you make adjustments. And by the time you're shooting, it's well oiled. It's very well oiled. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that because I totally agree. And I know you're being very humble here this entire interview. As I mentioned, you are legendary, you are iconic. And the first episode truly is the big introduction to welcome back to the John Wick universe. And then the third episode, and in the first episode, we're talking about scenes such as the staircase scene. Mm-hmm. And then the third episode is sitting there hitting the Usher meme like, watch this. Because that phone booth scene, come on now. Like, really amazing. Just really took
That's
things.
Good you're bringing that up because Larnell Stovall, who's our action coordinator and director, will be so happy to hear it because my partner in crime, Kirk Ward, who's the showrunner and writer, we were talking about that scene. It wasn't in a phone booth. There was a scene Lou was being followed by the cop. And I said, you know what I've always wanted to do, Kirk? You ever heard the expression, it was like a fight in the phone booth? He goes, yeah. I said, I want to fight in the phone booth. So then we go to Larnell, his eyes just go big. And we're like, fight in the phone booth. Oh my God. And these are the tricks also in filmmaking where you're like, we may not have the budget or time for an action sequence. Let's get creative here.
Yeah.
Let's not have this big expansive chase scene. Let's put them in a phone booth. Yeah. And you hope in your best day, and I guess this is where like I'm not gonna be modest. As I go, you hope on your best day when you're ambitious that they will teach this in film school as a lesson of how to do something exciting with no money.
Yeah, awesome. Really, really quickly for my final question, really quick. Now that we got these three under the belt, releasing September 22nd on Peacock, we're not ready to get to the finish line just yet. Are there plans to tell more of this story?
Well, there's always the business and the creative. And the business, I don't know about, like, you know, what are their numbers, is it successful, and would I consider doing it? I had so much fun. I think I would pause and have a deep think about it because it's the most liberating kind of experience I've had. And I know why Chad does the movies. You know, he's done 4 in a row. He's never left to do another movie. It's because he knows what he has. It's if I can curse, it's fucking fun.
You sure can. Well, Albert, my brother, thank you so much for your time. This one is a banger, folks. If y'all already knew what it was, but we're here to just stamp it that you can check out the Continental from the World of John Wick premiering on Peacock September 22nd. New episode weekly, 3-night mini movie special. It is one you don't want to miss. Again, thank you so much for your time, Albert.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.